Welcome to Duck Chatter. In this week's episode, we're going to talk about Main Street competition calling. In 2014, I was fortunate enough to win the World Duck Calling Championship, and in 2015, I was fortunate enough to win the Bass Pro Big Cypress National Duck Calling Championship. It was the first annual. And what we do here at the shop, and the call that we use, is our boss competition call. And the boss call is something that we would not use while we're timber hunting or hunting out in the open field. It's something that we just basically use on the stage to blow in Main Street duck calling contest. In competition calling, what you're trying to do is you're trying to paint a picture for the judges that you're calling ducks at a very, very long distance, and you're trying to work them into you and around your decoy spread so you can kind of get them to work in and land. However, in the middle of the routine, someone looks up and they scare the ducks off, and you have to turn around and try to call the ducks back. And that your routine is 90 seconds long. So you just have 90 seconds to complete this full routine to get the ducks in, have them scared off, and bring them back. So now we're going to talk about your routine. There are 8 segments in a competition routine. You're going to start out with your hail calls. Second, you're going to have a transition, which are your bottom end ducks. Third is going to be your feed call with a cadence and some drags in it to kind of break it up. Fourth is going to be your step up. Going into your step up, out of that you'll come into your triple comeback. This is when the guy or whoever looks up and scares the ducks off. So your triple comeback, once you get through your triple comeback, you're going to go into a cadence, which is a transition again of bottom end ducks. And the next segment is going to be the feed call again, and here you can either add a cadence or blow straight through a feed call. Last but not least is going to be your closeout. You're going to have 3 quacks and a cadence. Now let's talk about the routine, complete routine. First is going to be your hail calls. Blowing a duck call in Main Street contest is like blowing a musical instrument, and getting to the top end notes of your hail calls, you've got to be able to get your throat opened up, and you have to be able to get hot air from your diaphragm to come out with the good tone that you're going to need to be clear and strong and wide. And most guys will blow 3 to 4 hail calls. The first hail call is going to be 30 to 40 notes. The second hail call will be generally the same, and the third hail call is going to be shortened down, and you can jump back up, which we consider a third to a fourth hail call. So you're going to blow a small hail call and then jump back up and show power to get to the top end of that fourth hail call. So the first hail call is going to be anywhere from 30 to 40 notes, and I'll show you an example of that right now. The second hail call is going to be generally the same. However, when you get into the third hail call, and some guys just continue to blow the third hail call out, where a lot of guys will blow a short hail call and then jump back up into a fourth hail call. And that's kind of what I do, and a lot of other guys do, and I'll show you how to do that right now. Now the next segment that we work on is our transition, and what this is bottom end ducks. And one way to think about it is slow, fast, slow. So you're going to do slow ducks on the very beginning of this transition. You're going to do quick ducks or fast ducks in the middle, and on the third ducks they're going to be slow as well, and I'll show you how to do that. Now the next segment that we work on is our feed call. A lot of guys have different ways of blowing a feed call. Some guys use the word ticka, some guys use tugga, some guys use kitty, some guys use gugga. They just use the word gugga and try to blow a feed there. I use the word tugga, and in this feed you're going to need to put drags in the feed to kind of break it up. But in the middle of the feed you're going to have a cadence, a duck cadence right there, and then once you get out of your cadence you're going to have the rest of your feed all the way out to the very end of where your feed call is. And remember, this is all timed. And I'll give you an example of that right now. In the next segment is our step up. This is generally where your partner, they're in the woods with you or in the blind, look up and they scared the ducks off. And this is called your step up. In your step up, you're going to start out with soft ducks because they're just now leaving. Once you're not getting their attention, then you got to get a little bit louder. So your next leg of your step up is going to be a little louder, and them ducks are still not turning around coming back. So now you've got to go to the top end of your call and try to get them ducks to come back, and I'll show you an example of that. Alright, now once you get through with your step up, you still not turn the ducks to come back towards you. So you're going to have to go into what is called a triple comeback. This is 3 small hail calls that's done in one breath. And you're just staying on the top end for 3 segments in one breath. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay, once you get the triple comeback, now you've got the ducks turned and coming back towards you. Once you see them do that, in painting this picture for the judges now, in your mind, you go back into a transition. A lot of guys will blow just about the same transition that they do on the first one in the first part of the routine, or they'll blow just 2 transitions and then move on from there. Myself, I blow 2 transitions. I'll blow a fast duck, and then I'll turn around after that and blow just a slow duck. So like the first slow, fast, slow, I actually blow a fast, slow. Okay, but you can still blow a fast, slow, fast. And I'll give you an example of the second transition. Okay, once you get done with this transition, you remember you've got the ducks responded, they're coming back to you. Now you're going to blow a feed call. And what I mentioned before in the second feed, what you're doing, you can go into a feed and a cadence. A lot of guys just blow straight through a feed and do not have any cadence, but you're still breaking that feed up with a drag in there. So what I do is I actually have a small cadence in my feed, and I'll show you that right now. Okay, now we're at the very end of the routine. Now keep in mind too, now you've got 90 seconds to put all this together. And what the last thing is here is the closeout. Once you get through your last feed, you're going to blow 3 quacks, and you're going to blow a cadence at the very end of that. You just got to make sure you don't blow them too fast. You don't want to blow them too slow. Just making sure you still have some time left, and just kind of getting it smooth. The whole thing needs to be smooth, so I'll show you the closeout right now. If you have any questions about this episode, please give us a shout at our email. Alright guys, that's the gist of Main Street competition calling. Thanks for watching this episode. Stay tuned for next week's episode.